The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? Hey, we're going to need you to sacrifice yourself so half the world's population doesn't die. Wait. Really? You're saying no? Well, you're doing it anyway. This is quite the harrowing issue as Amber and Scott discuss Project Hail Mary. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
I can't say that I know how to feel about this movie.
Okay, why's that?
Well, I like the premise in general. Certainly a fun end of the world, have to stop at Armageddon type scenario. But in some ways, it still uses those formulas to like jerk at your heartstrings. And it feels a little too cookie cutter in that way. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was. I don't think it's going to win any Best Picture Oscars or anything like that, but it was fun.
Okay, alrighty, folks.
You hated it, but not even because of the content of the movie.
Oh, yeah, unrelated. So, folks, we are talking about Project Hail Mary today, and it is the story of a scientist who once upon a time had a unpopular opinion and resorts to being an elementary school teacher, and then is recruited to help on this project because there are these little particles floating through the galaxy that are going to block and obscure the sun over time, so then we cannot grow food, and as a
not even obscure it, literally eat it.
And then there's no sun to hit Earth to grow crops to have food, and we all die. Project Hail Mary. So yeah, the reason Scott said I hated it is because we went to this theater that was supposed to be the best possible experience for
the
this film.
IMAX 70 millimeter.
Yeah, that was the recommended. See this film in that format.
I mean, and I will tell you, myself, I loved watching this film in that format in that theater because it made use of all of the screen, and there was a lot of screen.
Yeah, it was a very strange theater in the fact that we were in the second to last row, and it was the equivalent of being generally in maybe the first third of a normal movie theater, maybe the first half of a movie theater. It was deep, and the people who were anywhere near the front, they were so far below the screen, I don't even know how they could watch it. I don't understand. I don't understand how anyone
it needed a steeper slant for the chairs.
Yeah, I mean that theater itself, I did not enjoy it, and I would never go back to that specific theater again. But I mean, the film was sold out. Every seat was sold, and I don't know how folks sat that close, looking up that high, being so far below the actual movie.
I mean, we had to book 3 weeks out to be able to get
this movie in this format.
Yeah, like a daytime weekday movie, which is still sold out.
Yeah, $325 on a Monday on not even summertime, and it was full. So let's dig into some what would you do. So we have our main character, Grace, who...
Do we know they ever actually use his first name?
Not that I recall. So, Grace is his last name, and they call him Grace. So he is recruited to help with this project, and he is finding out information about how these dots, these particles, these cells work that are eating away at the sun, and eventually gets enough data where they can go into space and intervene to save the planet and humanity. And there is a disaster, and some people die, and they need Grace to step up and go on the mission because he's the only one who knows the science, who knows the data, who could even begin to fill those shoes. And he doesn't want to go.
Well, I mean, he wasn't who they picked. He wasn't their initial, he wasn't their backup.
Yeah, no, it was just...
But somebody effed up and literally blew up like almost everyone. They messed around with the particles too much and boom.
Yeah. So what would you do at that point when they say, we cannot push this mission. We still have to go on time, and there's nobody else who knows this who can step in to fill this role. We need you to go. What would you do?
So this is a little different because is it what I'm doing or what would I do if I was the main character?
Well, yeah, that's the point. What would you do if you were the character in the film? That's what we do here. Are you new?
Well, no, because this is actually, there is a difference. And the difference is whether or not you're married.
Well, you're the character in the film.
Yeah, if you're a character in the film, honestly.
He's single, unattached.
Like, you know me, I want something that's going to leave a legacy. And
Well, it's usually a different kind of legacy.
yeah, but, pretty much
Saving
saving
humanity
half
would-
the world.
That would do.
Feels like, yeah, it feels like there would be a statue of me somewhere.
Okay, well, you do like
I mean, I'm
statues
dead,
of
but-
you. You do like the notion of statues of you.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to subject people to having to see those. Could you imagine having to go running in the park and seeing this face?
Okay, so what would you do? You're in that position, and under the same or similar circumstances as Grace.
You have to understand that you're doing it. Like, it's the sacrifice has chosen you.
Well, and Grace thinks about it. He has 3 hours to think about this life-altering decision. Oh, important fact. You don't get to come back. If you go on this mission, you're dead. You serve your purpose, you send data back, and there's not enough fuel to get you back home. So, yeah, important part, you don't come back. Very important.
Yeah.
So he has 3 hours to think about this, and he comes back and he says, yeah, no, I'm not doing it. And they say, yeah, you are. And they have a bunch of people come in, rush him, chase him, and put him into a coma so they can put him into the spaceship and send him off into space.
Yeah, I actually saw that coming. Like, and that's the other thing too. Like, if they're telling you, like, you literally are the last possible person that could do it, and half the world's population is at stake, they're not going to let you say no.
So we see Grace wake up on the spaceship, and the 2 other people, the engineer and the pilot, are deceased. So I don't have any idea how long he's been up there. But at this point, he's on his own. What would you do if you realized you woke up, you only have scattered memory of who you are and why you're there, but yet you still seem to know how to do everything with the spaceship, which I thought was peculiar. That was some selective amnesia there.
Well, they said that the hibernation process would produce temporary amnesia.
Yeah.
So the idea is that it was going to come back to him eventually.
So what do you do when you wake up?
But he still never seemed to figure out how he got on there. So I don't know. They like Men in Black his capture or something, so he doesn't remember it. Well, see, that's the one problem there. You don't have a lot of what would you do's at that point.
Yeah, you just got
That was
gotta survive.
what was done to you.
Well, what he did do is he saw the 2 other people on the team who had passed away. And again, it's hard to know. Was this 3 months or 3 years? Did they die and he was in that coma the entire time? I didn't quite follow that.
Yeah, I mean, they talked about time back being 4.5 years. So I think it's safe to say that it was at least 4.5 years to get out to where they were. And then you don't know how long. I mean, like, you're out there, and then what are you actually doing? I mean, your science guy is in a coma.
So he ultimately ends up giving a little mock funeral to both of these folks, recognizing them. Apparently they have some mementos and trinkets and pictures, and then shoots them off into space. And at this point, he's just trying to figure out how things work and how to achieve the mission. And he comes across an alternate life form.
Yeah, he comes across a big old ship. And he tries to get away from the ship, and the ship's like, nah, I'll hang.
So what would you do if you see another very bizarre-looking ship out in the middle of outer space where you are? What do you do? Are you curious? Are you scared?
I don't know.
I think I'd be scared. Because at a minimum, you're going to have a language barrier.
I mean, here's the way I look at it. You're in that situation, you would literally be the person to first make contact.
What do you mean?
Like, you're going to if there's a ship, there's something alive that made that ship. And it's probably on that ship.
Maybe. What's your point?
I mean, you would hope that running into them wouldn't kill you. But here's the other part, too. You've already done the math based on the energy that you do have, like thrusting and pulling back and stuff like that. It would take you 113 years, I think you said, for him to get back home. That is a very long trip.
Him, Grace?
Yeah. So you're kind of in a, well, I mean, for lack of a better term, a Hail Mary at that point.
So, not doing the play-by-play in this film, but just talking about the broad topics here. There is an alternate life form on this ship who looks like a rock. And somehow Grace seems to effortlessly create some sort of translator so he can talk to this rock. And they have conversations back and forth, and they save the world. Or they're working together to Grace to save Earth,
their world.
And for the rock, who he names Rocky,
To save Iridium.
to save his planet.
Yeah.
And so what would you do if you found an intergalaxy comrade to work together to save both of your planets? I mean, do you...
This is forced altruism. Like, his position in general is forced altruism. Like, what else he's got better to do?
Yeah.
Like if you fail, then, half the world dies.
So...
And working with this guy,
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's the thing.
Well, Rocky.
You have no idea if you're making contact. If you're making contact with a civilization that is more advanced than you, less advanced than you, or what. So maybe all of a sudden, hey, this could be a way of me surviving. It's probably a low chance, but let's try it out. So yeah, I'm working with him, especially as you start to build a friendship.
Yeah, and they did become close friends, and they made some good progress together on trying to address this problem that was affecting both of their planets, both of their homes in the same way. And so we reach a point in the film where they are going to part ways, and they think they both have their answers. But here's the thing.
They've done their trial. They almost died.
Well,
they did, and like Rocky was willing to sacrifice himself for Grace.
Okay, so that's where I was going. So ultimately, they do become good friends, and Rocky, the Rock, learns that Grace cannot go home, that his mission isn't to get back home. And Rocky says, basically, I got you.
I need gas money. How much you need?
Yeah, I got you.
Grams?
I'm going to send you home. It will take me 6 years longer to get home to do that. That's a long time. And I don't know how long that trip is to begin with.
Well, you say it's a long time. Yes. Relatively, though, like he said he had been with his mate for like 158 years.
Right.
So 6 years to them is...
Likely shorter.
Yeah.
Or else they just live longer.
What?
Or else they just live longer, and
Well, yeah, but
180-something years is
I mean,
180.
if you consider the time versus the percentage of your life,
Yeah.
certainly it's smaller. So
Would you make that kind of sacrifice?
if I'm Rocky,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you've been through some hardcore shit at that point. I mean, really, no. I mean, you both were very reliant on each other to not be dead. So you're willing to help if you can. And he could.
And then we see that friendship tested again in the film later when Grace realizes that he has brought a contaminant onto his ship. And
well, it wasn't the contaminant. It was the life form.
The lab thing, yeah.
Yeah, the life form figured out how to get around the xenon or xenonite and then was actually attacking his fuel source.
Right. Thank you for explaining that. Those were not words that were still in my vocabulary. So Grace realizes that, oh shoot, this is happening to me. It's happening to Rocky too. So either I can keep continuing on to get home, or I can turn around and save Rocky, because he will die, and he will actually have a long, painful death if this happens. So what would you do if you were Grace? You now got this golden ticket home, But you realize if you go home, it means this friend that you made, this rock, that is has a lot of humanity, is going to.
I'm going to go home. And I'm going to tell you why. It's not that I don't Rocky. It's that at that point, are you even going to be able to find Rocky again for sure?
That was my first thought, is how do you, what kind of navigation is there that you can find another spaceship in the middle of galaxies, outer space?
How are you making this situation better?
Well, didn't he reverse it to save his own ship?
Well, he basically was able to encapsulate the predator in a new, basically put him in baggies, essentially.
Yeah, so you do that same thing for Rocky's ship.
But here's the other thing, too. This is also making an assumption that Rocky hasn't figured it out as well. Because Rocky easily could have figured it out. He proved he was like every bit as smart.
Well, you also have the addition of radiation on that ship as well, which killed all of Rocky's teammates. I don't know what the right. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no, you were forced off the first time to save half of the population. That is one thing. You if I go save Rocky. And you have to believe that that's your situation. Like, you're not, life is over. Are you willing for Rocky's? I wouldn't be. I would wish him well. I would hope that he would figure it out as well. But by that point, like, I've done, you just hope for the best and go home.
So here was my thought where I was going when that was playing out in the film is I thought they're not expecting him back. And is that ship even built to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere? Because it wasn't meant to be a round trip. So even if you're allowed to have enough fuel to come back, number one, is your ship able to enter the Earth's atmosphere? And number two, they're not looking for you. So you could potentially go somewhere and no one even knows to retrieve you, to look for you. They might think you're some sort of alien form. And,
you mean Earth?
Yeah, I mean, they're not expecting you back.
It doesn't matter. You'll have comms. You get close enough to Earth, you'll have a way to communicate back, for sure. And they might just be like, okay, well, yeah, you can't really come back in. Go park yourself at the ISS and we'll send up a rocket to get you. I mean...
Okay.
That's
a reasonable response.
If he, and then you are not a national-wide hero, and you're alive to get to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the film ultimately culminates with, and I got to tell you, I didn't quite understand this, but I guess Grace is on. It's not Rocky's planet because Rocky is in some sort of protective suit that he has to wear when he's in the environment. But then the kids didn't.
I did get it.
Okay.
They are on Rocky's planet.
Okay.
But they basically built a big effing biodome.
Oh.
So they've engineered it to be what he needs.
But why were the kids then not in the little protective suits like Rocky was? There's little rock children for those who haven't seen it. They were on Zoom?
Yeah.
They weren't really there?
The kids weren't there.
Oh, they weren't?
No, he was talking to them on a computer.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, he basically was talking to the kids on Zoom.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, you figure
got to buy some stock in Zoom.
Yeah, they could have their own Zoom. It's probably called...
That's great. Okay,
I think I love that for him. I do. He got to his friendship. He got to be a teacher. He really didn't have much to come back to. He'd already sent back all the information they needed.
Yeah.
You could live out the rest of your life like...
Well, new to you.
New to you. Maybe sign me up. I don't know. Do they have cell phones? Can I play games?
So this, that would be a key question for you. So that leads us into our final what would you do, is ultimately the scientists on Rocky's planet have to go back. If you're Grace at that point and you're living here on this planet and you're teaching all the little rock children and you still have your friendship with Rocky, do you go back?
I don't know. We set up like a high-speed rail and go back and forth between the two?
that would be a lot of effort.
Yeah, probably. No.
I think I would just embrace that that's my life now.
Yeah.
Especially his situation where he didn't have any real attachments.
And I mean, he obviously formed a huge bond with Rocky. Like, he's got a bigger bond with Rocky than he's got with anyone.
Yeah.
Back home. Going to be a little bit lonely. Not going to feel the touch of, any other person ever.
I don't know. Maybe a...
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.